Good morning on this Tuesday, September 17th, and welcome to Breakfast with Bridgett here, streaming live on News 6 Plus and clickorlando.com. I'm Bridgett Ellison. Good to be with you, and we are waking up once again with just some muggy conditions and still some rain chances, storm chances in the forecast again today. We're going to get to some top headlines as well and talk about some of the contests that we have going on, but we want to swing over to the Pinpoint Weather Center with Chief Meteorologist Candace Campos. She just brought you an update on the air, and she is standing by back there getting ready to join us. We're looking at another day where you might need your rain gear, but let's check in. Is Candace there? Is she there? Hi, Candace. Might need your rain gear, right? Still might need the rain gear.
You know, at the end of the day, Bridgett, rain gear is probably like a good thing to have, even though we're not really dealing with a lot of the tropical downpours that we've been seeing the last 2 weeks. It's been more like summer storms, like our typical, the ones that kind of bubble up. You go, oh my goodness, it's raining, but you wait 5 minutes and then it's done. That's kind of the setup we're going to be back under. So, you know, it's funny. I was just double checking that our weather push got sent out, which it did. And it says storms bubble back up. And then when you open it up, it gives you the full forecast right there. Look at that.
Oh,
Look how
nice.
simple that was, right? So I was just double checking that everything worked. Hold on. It's all the behind the scenes stuff, Bridgett, right?
It is. It is. And so in that app, so is there a new update again on the app, or where are we in the updates on the weather app?
As of now, we had that big update a couple months ago, about 2 months ago. We had our big update. We've been ironing out some little kinks here and there, so there are little fixes and stuff like that. So just making sure that you check back a little bit and just kind of make sure that you are keeping your app updated. And that's a good thing to do anyway with most of your apps anyway. So
Yeah, and it's always good to have the radar on the go because of just the nature
yeah,
of the way our rain chances work every day.
because they bubble up pretty quick, right? All right,
They do.
let's take it to the map, show you what's going on across Central Florida here. Your afternoon, well, at least your weather story for the afternoon. We will be seeing storms developing, really focusing along, let's say, I-4 and areas out towards our eastern communities. So Brevard, Seminole, Osceola, Orange County, that's going to be the main zone where we are going to see the bulk of the rain. For the rest of the week, though, it's not going to be as soggy as it obviously was, although we can't rule out the chance of a rogue developing shower developing into the afternoon. But really, that's about it. And when we talk about that's about it for now, we are watching one area in the tropics right now. It's only Gordon, which here in the weather department love to report that. How long will that last? I have a sneaky suspicion we will be tracking something most likely later on next week. All right, back here at home, we are watching a weak system, kind of a weak front that's turned basically into just kind of a trough of low pressure that's going to continue to stream in moisture. But look where it lies. It pretty much splits Central Florida in half, right? So we're seeing dry air filtering in across the northern end of that boundary, but still plenty of moisture across the southern zones. So that's going to play a big role, and you'll see it here on our clouds and rain forecast. We will see those scattered showers and thunderstorms develop there along I-4 towards the east, but look what happens. We have a lot of rain from Orlando through northern Brevard County, Osceola, but not much across our northern zones. And that's because, again, that where that boundary kind of lies. So the drier air will kind of filter in and keep you guys in Marion, Lake Sumter, Flagler, most of Volusia County relatively dry today. Not bone dry, just not as stormy as your friends further south and east, like in Orange and Seminole County. That will linger till about 4 or 5 o'clock. So some areas might be okay for dismissal, but you will start to see the clouds starting to kind of bubble up a little bit. After school activities might have to either be delayed or canceled because of lightning in some spots. But again, it's all going to be dependent on where you are and where the schools are, of course. Here's the tropical depression update. This is Gordon, still a depression. Still sustained winds of 35 miles per hour, but it's a little storm that could and is trying as it continues to push up towards the northern Atlantic. Will continue to run into the middle of nowhere. Certainly good news, but it is something that, of course, I'll let you know as long as it's still out there and still alive. Looking at our afternoon forecast for today, rain chances sit at about 50%, highs about 90. We are still going to be dealing with some of those scattered storms, still plenty of sunshine, kind of a mix of sun and clouds in the forecast. We are going to be tracking some more drier air kind of filtering in, which is why rain chances for the next couple of days will kind of fluctuate between about a 40 and 50%. But look what happens come Sunday. You see kind of a spin going on. It looks like we might actually get kind of a trough that will push a lot of dry air into Central Florida come Monday. And because of that, look at your rain chances on Monday. We're going to right now bring it down to about 20%. This can all get ironed out, and we might bring it right back up to about a 40 to 50%. But as of now, that's kind of the only thing we're really looking at as we head into early next week. Also into early next week, fall officially begins on Sunday. So this week is actually our last full week of the summer season.
And I remember you said this morning on the morning show that that doesn't really mean diddly squat for us.
Yeah, diddly squat.
It won't be a marked difference.
Yeah.
Just yet.
And it's funny because I'm actually just building a story, a graphic that says the fall averages. And when you look at it, the fall in general, it's nice. You know, it says, let's see, September, our average high goes down to 89, right? Our average high in November goes down to 85. Right.
Better.
And then December, our average high is 78. Woohoo.
Yes.
Now we need to get to those averages. We don't want an above average.
Which that's kind of been the trend though.
It's just been a warming trend all across the year as well. Mm-hmm. So fingers crossed. You know, that's the difference between forecasting and wish casting. So
yes, for sure. All right. Well, Candace, thanks for the breakdown.
Anytime.
Enjoy these last few days of summer.
Oh, I won't.
All right. Thanks, Candace.
Bye.
Bye. Well, for the first time, former President Donald Trump is now talking about what the FBI is calling, indeed, a second assassination attempt over the weekend. This happened Sunday, as we told you yesterday, at his golf course club in Palm Beach County. And investigators are releasing new details about this man they've arrested. He's facing felony charges. And officials say that the suspect may have been near that scene of the shooting up to 12 hours before it happened. Here's Jared Hill with more.
Police body cam footage shows the arrest of Ryan Wesley Routh, the man accused of trying to assassinate former President Donald Trump at his golf club in West Palm Beach over the weekend.
All of a sudden, we heard shots being fired in the air.
Last night on X, the former president described the moments when, according to charging documents, a U.S. Secret Service agent saw what looked like a rifle poking from the tree line, then fired shots in that direction.
Secret Service knew immediately it was bullets. And they grabbed me. We got into the carts and we moved along pretty good.
The 58-year-old fled unharmed and was later taken into custody about 50 miles away. Routh, a North Carolina native with a criminal record, appeared in court Monday on 2 federal gun charges. Investigators said they found a high-caliber rifle with its serial number scratched out, a digital camera, and some food. According to authorities, cell phone records show he may have been near the golf course for as long as 12 hours before the incident.
He did not fire or get off any shots at our agents. The protective methodologies of the Secret Service were effective.
Acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe says his agency has beefed up Trump's protection following the July assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. President Biden says the agency needs more help. He condemned political violence Monday before speaking with Trump by phone. Jared Hill, CBS News.
And so the former president is expected to be back on the campaign trail today with a town hall coming up in Michigan. Now on to some news about music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. He is expected to appear in federal court today after he was arrested last night in New York. And this is coming after a grand jury returned a federal indictment against Combs. At this point, the charges are sealed, but we are supposed to find out more today, so we're not exactly sure what he is charged with specifically in that indictment. But he has faced a string of allegations in recent months, you may have heard, involving women accusing him of sexual assault. So as soon as that information becomes available, we'll be updating you on clickorlando.com. And now to the latest in school threats. This has been a major rash of school threats involving our students with guns and attacks. So there have been several, and now an 11-year-old boy is locked up facing charges accused of threatening to carry out a school shooting in Volusia County. Now, investigators say the boy had a list of names targets. And unlike many of these other threats we've been telling you about, he had several different weapons at home. News 6's Mark Lehman has more about why deputies say he had everything from airsoft guns to swords.
A table filled with airsoft guns, fake ammo, knives, and swords. This is the arsenal Volusia County deputies say they recovered from an 11-year-old in Port Orange. They tell us the student at Creekside Middle threatened a mass shooting at his school, or Sands Middle, before he was caught.
I have 3 kids that go here, so you kind of get a little nervous of whether you should send your kid to school or not.
We're not identifying the student because of his age, but investigators say he showed off the weapons on FaceTime and had a list of names and targets. The arrest also comes after several other recent school threats.
They keep sending in these tips over and over and over again and think it's a big joke and nothing's going to happen to it.
Since last week, at least 10 students across Central Florida have been arrested for either threatening a school or being caught with a gun on campus. Sheriff Mike Chitwood saying it needs to stop.
Parents, do your job. Don't let Sheriff Chitwood raise your kids. This is absolutely ridiculous.
And so that arrest was on the same day a 13-year-old girl in Flagler County had been taken into custody for allegedly making a shooting threat there. But if you go to clickorlando.com, you can look at more on this. But when we looked at the governor responding to this yesterday, as well as the districts responding, you can see more of our coverage there. But if there's a map of Florida showing in the past week where there have been threats at schools, and I would say a majority of the counties were highlighted on that map, so it is a troubling trend that we are tracking for you. In Melbourne now, a battle over the tracks in Brevard County, the city wanting to make the train crossing safer. The owner of the tracks is balking at supporting the city's plan. You may remember 2 deadly crashes at the same railroad crossing earlier this year, and is several things the city wants to improve among that. So News 6 investigator Donovan Myrie found out that those plans are being derailed.
The city of Melbourne has 22 railroad crossings, the most of any municipality in Brevard County. The tracks are owned by Florida East Coast Railway, and both FEC Freight and Brightline passenger trains use them. The city, along with the county, recently put together a grant application for safety improvements, including upgrades to 5 of those crossings. In North Melbourne, the Masterston Street crossing would be upgraded from 2 gates to 4. In South Melbourne, New Haven Avenue, Prospect Avenue, W.H. Jackson, and Jernigan Avenue would also each get new gate systems. Total cost, more than $4.3 million, with a federal grant covering 80% and the city kicking in the other 20%. It sounded like a good deal until a recent move from FEC. Those 2 crossings, Prospect Avenue and Jernigan Avenue, are both in South Melbourne. We reached out to FEC for comment, but have not heard back. Why does FEC want these 2 crossings closed?
I imagine their response to this question would be for safety. And I have heard them say before that the safest crossing is no crossing.
The City Council wants to have a face-to-face with Florida East Coast and all parties involved. But Lamb says that meeting could take up to 4 to 6 weeks to set up. Donovan Myrie, News 6, getting results.
Speaking of Melbourne, join us at Squid Lips on Pineapple Avenue from 4 to 7 p.m. We are broadcasting live there tomorrow, and we hope to see you because we've been hitting the road, and so that's our next stop. We hope to see you over at Squid Lips 4 to 7 tomorrow. We're taking a quick break. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You just saw that beautiful shot of Daytona Beach. Well, now we want to talk about some improvements that are happening when it comes to accessibility for people to get to the beaches. So happening today, a big vote that could lead to major improvements along the Volusia County coastline. Leaders are set to approve more than $1 million to rebuild several beach walkways. And as News 6's Ezzy Castro reports, some of those access points have been closed for years because of storm damage.
What these walkovers are is they are kind of at our parks. So you've got Winter Haven Park, a very popular park in Ponce Inlet.
If you've recently visited Winter Haven Park in Ponce Inlet, you may notice signs like these that read ADA access currently unavailable. That's because the walkover was damaged during Hurricane Ian 2 years ago.
Our trades workers did temporary repairs. We got stairs in place to make sure that our public access was available, but we just didn't have the capabilities to make them ADA accessible.
I spoke with Jessica Fentress with Volusia County Coastal Division. She says nearly a dozen walkovers impacted by Hurricane Ian and Nicole will be getting work done if county leaders approve. She explained the county had to wait for FEMA to fund the majority of the $1 million construction, which is set to begin at the end of turtle season in November.
In order to be fiscally responsible with our residents' taxes, then we have to make sure that every single penny we can get from FEMA, we get it. And unfortunately, that means playing by FEMA's rules.
So we'll keep you updated on that one as well. And now to an update about some of the restaurant closings that we've been reporting on. So another restaurant is being added to the list. So Orlando will be saying goodbye to a place that's in the Milk District. Pom Pom's Tea House and Sandwicheria will close its doors in a few weeks. And it is one of several small businesses that has been struggling in recent years. News 6's Emily McLeod has more on the challenges they're facing.
It was packed at Pom Pom's Tea House and Sandwicheria on Monday after the beloved restaurant announced it would be closing on October 4th. Several restaurants in the area recently announced their closing, including Valkyrie Donuts, Cappy Subs, and Farm & House. Samir Gavira and Monica Vasquez say they're heartbroken after hearing the news.
This isn't just some shop that opened up last week and they're struggling. Pom Pom's has been here since 2005. They're Orlando.
Evan Bolivar says he's not surprised to hear about another small business closing up shop.
I love to come to these smaller restaurants rather than bigger chains because I find them more enjoyable. And so it's kind of saddening, but it's just a trend that I've kind of gotten used to.
Bolivar lives in Point Siena. Even though he didn't get to enjoy Pom Pom's all that often, he'll still miss the sandwich shop.
When that opportunity is gone, it's like, well, where do I go now?
Jay Beckett is the general manager of Pom Pom's.
Did you see our announcement this morning?
He says there's a couple of factors that played into Pom Pom's closing, including a shift in consumer behavior.
There's just a shift in the pattern of how people are doing things. Now it seems that to go out for a sandwich is probably like an event, like a date or something, because people just don't generally do it day to day.
Beckett also says the restaurant's founder, Paul Munyaklong, has a desire to do something different after nearly 20 years.
It was just time for her to have a little bit of a change. She's got some brand new ideas, some new and exciting things she wants to bring to the public. She loves everybody here in Orlando. She just wants to be creative.
In Orlando, Emily McLeod, Getting Results, News 6.
And like we mentioned, several local restaurants, closing down for various reasons, like Emily explained there. You can check out some of the other local favorites that have announced they'll be closing. We have posted the whole list for you on clickorlando.com. Now to chemicals in floss. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but there are some chemicals found in floss called PFAS, and they are troubling. But, flossing is one of those things the dentist pretty much gets on all of us about needing to do more. But just imagine that there could be chemicals that could make you sick. So today, Crystal Moyer is breaking down a new investigation by Consumer Reports and Made Safe about the different types of flosses out there and which companies are disclosing the chemicals in their floss and which ones are not.
Even if we don't follow it, we all know the advice from dentists.
Flossing is the game changer. Flossing makes a huge amount of difference in the mouth.
That advice isn't changing, but the findings from a new Consumer Reports analysis of what's in your dental floss might have you thinking twice about the type of floss you're using.
Some dental flosses use PFAS chemicals for a smoother glide. However, these forever chemicals have been linked to various health problems and environmental concerns. Some flosses also contain undisclosed flavors and are made of plastic.
Consumer Reports and Made Safe, a nonprofit focused on product safety and sustainability, recently analyzed ingredients in a variety of flosses. 10 flosses either failed to disclose their ingredients, contained PFAS, or included other components linked to health concerns, posing higher risks to consumers. 3 flosses stood out as favorites because they contained safer and more sustainable ingredients. While companies aren't required to disclose all ingredients in dental floss, Tom's of Maine, Dental Lace, Cocoa Floss, and Nudge provided Consumer Reports with complete ingredient lists and confirmed they don't intentionally add PFAS to their products. Procter & Gamble, makers of Oral-B Glide, confirmed that their floss contains PTFE, a type of PFAS, citing its performance benefits. However, they maintain it's safe and free of certain phased-out PFAS. The Humble company provided partial information confirming PFAS-free status, but giving incomplete flavor details. The other companies did not respond to consumer reports or provide answers.
So another option, if you don't like string flossing, is the water flosser. It's not as good, but it's better than nothing. You can find a full list of all the flossing brands reviewed by Consumer Reports on our website, clickorlando.com/insider. If you're not an insider, it is free to sign up for that. Make sure you verify your email. And again, all those contests there as well. So we've been talking about how fast the year goes by. But Candace talked about how the first day of fall is coming up this weekend, even though it won't really feel like it. But we're getting ready for the holidays. So, Halloween Horror Nights already started, things like that. But Target is hiring for the holidays, and the holiday shopping season will be upon us. And Target says it's looking to hire about 100,000 seasonal workers. The company says the workers will support order pickup, drive up customers, as well as help stock the shelves. And the positions pay anywhere from $15 to $24 an hour. Target says it will take applications starting next week for those seasonal jobs. So that's a big push right there. Well, have you ever heard of the term pregnancy brain? It is actually a real thing, and there's more and more research being done to back it up. So now in your health headlines, the latest study does prove that a woman's brain changes after she's had a child. And so it changes a little bit more than previous believed, too. Researchers looked at the brains of healthy first-time moms and found decreases in the tissues that control things like speech, thinking, and memory. And they also found increases in other areas, especially the region that helps the brain communicate and process information. But they did say that things start to return more to pre-pregnancy levels after a few months from delivery. But, until the next study, right? Well, speaking of the new 6 Insiders, want to let you know about those contests that are going on. First up, we have Howl of Scream back at SeaWorld. And there's that. And we are giving away a chance for you to go for free. We have 4 tickets we're giving away to 2 different winners. So you can enter as many times as you dare for your chance to get scared at Howl of Scream. That contest closes on September 30th. So if that's not really your thing, though, being scared, what about getting wet? Head over to Island H2O Water Park in Kissimmee. We have family 4-packs of season passes. So that contest ends tonight. So put in on that one. Head to clickorlando.com/insider and fill out the form on both contests. And again, free to join. Verify your email so that it goes through, and check out all the free content and enter to win those great contests. So that's going to do it for us right now. I'll see you a little bit later at noon with more news and weather updates as we await some updates on some of those headlines we talked about this morning. And we'll be back here tomorrow morning at 7:30. Make it a great day.